DJ Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. Today we're doing an announcement. It's not a gig announcement. As a matter of fact, it's a radio show announcement. So, for those of you who may or may not know, I've been a part of a radio station, like an online radio station, for quite a while. And over the sort of past 3 to 4 years, sort of since the lockdown, I've done various different online radio stations from Bouncy Vibes to Layman Radio to now moving over to Your Radio. And Your Radio has been probably one of the most pain in the asses that I've ever done, just due to me, my own personal faults. So I am very, very busy in life. I get very busy, and I don't always get the chance, and I don't always get the time, and sometimes it comes to the days, and I've done too much, and I want to relax and chill. So there was loads of times where I'd take just a slot on the station, and I'd do, just a slot. But then it would come to the day, and then for whatever reason, I just got that busy, it slipped my mind. So I was a real pain to the station to, not doing my slots, or there would be weeks go by and I wouldn't have taken a slot just because, I genuinely didn't have the time. And the guy who runs the station, bless him, he's been very, very understanding. There's always been one thing after another. There's always been some excuse and reason. Oh, I can't make the show this week, and I've felt really, really bad. However, I've decided that it's time to get my ass in gear, and if I want to do some shows, then I need to basically just commit to doing them. So I thought let's fix up a date, let's fix up a time, and let's do something properly. If we're gonna do it, let's not just jump on and just spin tunes for an hour. Let's make it a bit more show orientated. So that's where this show idea was born, the continuous mix. So the continuous mix is a show that basically covers all aspects of hard dance music. So we've got the bounce, we've got the hard dance, hard house elements, we've got the hard bounce, we've got the clubland, a little bit of techno. We've got just a little bit of everything that kind of sounds hard and bouncy. I would say it's going to be mainly bounce orientated, but we're going to play the other genres as well. Like, I dip into some like hard dance tunes, and we might do some like reverse bass stuff as well. That stuff is kind of on the list to come as well. So what I've been doing for the past sort of 3 to 4 weeks is I've just been trialing it out. I've been seeing like how regular I'm good at making this show. Can I get my ass into gear to get motivated and do the show, which I have done because I've been quite excited for it. The second thing, I just wanted to see like if we'd have any like streaming issues, or if the connection's not gonna hold up, or so we can get like a good sound level. So I just wanted to go on and sort of trial this show. Let the people that kind of run the station be a little bit like, is it sounding good? And stuff like that, and then play some jingles and have a bit of a dance and have a good time. And now I feel that the show is really good. I feel it's in a good stage now where I want to share and promote it, and I want to get more people to come and watch it. I want to promote that I'm kind of doing it. So obviously the show is only tomorrow. The next time I go live is tomorrow night at 10 p.m. So I am really going to fully launch it this week, but next week it'll be my birthday. So I don't know, with it being my birthday, I don't know if I'll be doing it or not. But then the week after, I might more than likely do it. And then what I might do is I might do this week as kind of like the final test, and just go live. And if people want to lock in, they can. and then next week I'll probably take it off because it's my birthday, and then the following week we will come and we'll launch the whole thing. And what I'll do that week where I'm off, so a bit after tomorrow, I'll use as promotion. So I'll start promoting, I'll start announcing, blah blah blah. We'll see where it goes. And the show is just called The Continuous Mix. So I wanted to kind of take a little bit of sort of history with the show. So the name comes from a Continuous Mix, which was a big part of like CDs. So you'd have you'd have the CDs, but then on the CDs you'd have like a continuous mix rather than all the individual track ones, track twos, track threes. That was like a thing back in the day, and then CDs kind of just became a mix where you would just have like a mix on the CD and it would just play the full mix. But like back in the day, you'd have like the Ministry of Sound, the continuous mix, and stuff like that. And that would kind of be, like a cool thing. So, am I from Burnley? Nope, I'm not from Burnley. Nope, forget that. I'm happy where I come from. I used to live in a town called Driffield. I don't live there now. I'm still very fond of the place. I left there and nothing ever, there wasn't a real big bad reason why I left it as such. I mainly left it. So I now live in the city of Hull. It's only like 29 miles away. I'm actually going to Driffield today. It's only about 21 mile away, not 29. So it's about a half an hour train journey. I can do it in about half an hour to 40 minutes on my bike, traffic dependent. If the weather's normally all right. And I mean motorbike as well. I don't push bike it. I think people will often look at me and they don't picture me doing the things that I do, judging by the way that they look at me. So like people would look at me and think like he don't ride motorbikes, but I do. This guy doesn't DJ and bang out rave music. This guy plays witchcraft and watches movies, but that's not me. I would rather do anything but that. That's just not me. So I moved to Hull because, well, for starters, my mum lived in Hull, so that was that was kind of a positive for moving to Hull. I wasn't just like moving and like, oh wait, where are you even gonna stay? Second of all, my music was starting to do well, and in the city of Hull, even though the city of Hull has its faults when it comes to the music scene, there was more of a music scene than Driffield, and there was quite, for me at the time, it was a good boost for me and my music journey. So I decided that I was gonna, move here. And then third of all, I just felt like, again, I felt isolated. I felt like there was a lack of support in the town where I was living. People were just not supporting, and then I'd come to Hull and I'd have all these mates. Oh yeah, come round for a mix and do this and do that. And in Driffield, there was nobody doing that. So for me, I was, spending train tickets like every weekend. I was going to Hull. Are you going to Hull this weekend? And stuff like that. And then it was just like, well, why am I doing this when I could just move there? And it fixed a lot of problems. So that's why I moved to Hull. And yeah, I love it. It's got its faults, like I say, when it comes to the music scene. And even since moving to Hull, my direction and my eyes have completely changed. And some of the people when I first moved to Hull, I was knocking around with, like, I don't even see them now. My support from them went. My visions in music changed absolutely dramatically. A lot of things changed in my life, so I fixed a lot of negatives in my life basically, to allow myself to better as an artist. One of them was to give up drinking. Giving up drinking was a thing for me. Now, I didn't have a problem with drinking. I wasn't somebody who was like, You know, I wasn't somebody who was an alcoholic or somebody who had an issue with drink. It wasn't that in the slightest. What it was is I had become a little bit of a party animal. So I wasn't somebody who was drinking all the time. I wasn't drinking through the week. I wasn't going through the week and needing to have a drink like that. I was completely fine with that. You know, I could go all the way through the week and not have a drink. Sometimes we'd go out for a meal and I'd be like, you know what, I fancy a pint. I'll have a pint today. Other times I'd just get a glass of Coke. But then it would come to a rave, it would come to a party, it would come, you know, if there was a reason to have a drink, like if there was a party at the weekend, I'd take a crate of beer. You know, if we were going out raving, I would get on the beers and get on the shots and stuff. And what happened was my music started to slowly progress. You know, I was getting to a little bit of a, you know, I was starting to get a few more bookings. I was starting to, you know, venture out a little bit more as an artist. And basically, I went to play a festival down south just after the lockdown. And, you know, it was kind of like the first time we'd really sort of had a rave, had a bit of a party. So I was a bit excited. So I got myself a bottle of Jaeger, got myself a crate of beer, you know, to take to this big like it was kind of, when I say festival, it was more like, you know, we were just chilling on a little bit of land for the weekend, and you know, we were camping and we had a little stage for music on some guy's land who didn't mind us doing so, and there was a load of artists basically, and artists brought some of their friends, and it wasn't like a big ticketed thing, you know, and it was right just after the lockdown. So basically, went to this festival and I took like quite a bit of booze because we'd been in lockdown and we hadn't really been out and doing things much. I did that, and on the first night I got absolutely legless, and I missed my stage time. You know, the time I was supposed to be on at this festival, which was just annoying as hell. And then the second day, I did my set, but then I got absolutely legless after the set. I decided that, you know what, like I'm not going to have a drink until after my set. And then I had loads of drink, and I made myself look like a fool as well. You know, I was shouting, I was falling all over the place, I was bantering with people, but taking it too far, and it wasn't the image that I wanted. You know, and then my friend kind of said, look, you know, that, you know, them people, like, they saw you in that state and it was embarrassing, and I thought, you know what, yeah, it is. And then a little while later, I had a gig in Scarborough, and I got a lift with some people from Hull that were on the lineup, that were on the bill. And then basically I got you know, I had a few beers. This time I think I got spiked. This time I weirdly think I got spiked because I only remember having about three beers, and then like after I had the third beer, it's like I don't remember anything, and then the next minute I'm not allowed in the club. I've been told I'm not allowed to go back in, and the people that were from Hull, they drove and they actually left me. And they claimed that they didn't leave me. They claimed that I asked to stay in Scarborough. They said that I don't want to come back. Um, and it was really weird. And I woke up on the promoter's sofa the next morning, and I just thought, you know what, like, I really don't want this image for me. It was really, you know, it was really horrible. You know, and then the thought that I had potentially been spiked as well was kind of like a big no go. And then there was another story as well, that kind of just, it adds the weight to the I don't want to drink anymore kind of thing. But the other story is a little more deep, it's a little more personal, so I'm not going to go into it. But there was just loads of things that kind of made me like, do you know what? Like, I don't want to do this anymore, kind of thing. So I decided that I would start to cut down on drinks, and I decided that, look, if I was gigging, then I wouldn't have a drink at all. If I was, you know, going somewhere to play a set, if I was going somewhere to be on the mic, I wouldn't drink at all. You know, I'd just forget it. I'm not going to drink. And then if I was just going somewhere like not to play, if I was just attending an event, then I would potentially, I'd have a couple of beers, and that would be it. I'd limit myself, couple of beers. I wouldn't go crazy and start getting absolutely rat-assed. I'd just have just a nice couple of beers just while I'm socialising. And then it got to the point where I just stopped even doing that, and I got a soft drink, and then now it's been nearly 2 years properly since I've had a drink. So when I say have a drink, like I haven't totally stopped drinking to the point as in like where like I don't touch alcohol at all. So if it's like Christmas, then I might just have like a beer at Christmas. If there's odd occasions, like I'll just have a pint. If there's like an odd occasion, I'll just have a pint. Like a celebration and we're just going out for a meal or something, I'll have a pint just to be sociable. Apart from that, I don't touch drink at all. Like I think that the last time I had a drink now was months ago. Like it has been months and it goes months. So it might even go a year. It just depends. Depending what I'm doing at Christmas, I might maybe, like I sometimes just have a little tiny glass of sherry. That is literally it. I think the last time I really, really had any alcohol properly was I went to a beer festival with a friend, and we just decided that we'd just try a cider at this beer festival, and we just had a cider, and that was literally it. And then we just caught the live music. There was a live band on, and then we just literally, we came home basically, and that was it. So I don't drink anymore, really. Like I say, Christmas I might just have like a beer. I might just have a like glass of sherry. If it's somebody's birthday, like a family member's, and we're having a meal or something, I might just have a beer. And that all depends what I'm doing. If I'm going somewhere and gigging, like if I'm jumping straight on a train or riding the bike back to Hull after a meal or something, then I wouldn't be having a drink. It all just depends what I'm doing at the time. But basically, cutting the story short, I don't drink. And it's been about 2 years since I would say I was properly, like going out and having a few, and getting drunk. That would be probably the last time that I would have really like properly gone out there and gone on the lash kind of thing. And I feel good for it. I feel really good. I feel amazing for it. And as an artist, it's a really, really good thing, because what people don't understand is, um, like being an artist is kind of all about how you're seen as well, how you're seen. So if you're an aspiring artist and you're kind of looking to get somewhere, and you're wanting to impress, big promoters that are putting big events on with, book people like your idols, people you've grown up listening to. And they're scrolling on Facebook, and they're scrolling and they're scout, they scout for people all the time. They're always on the lookout. They might not say they're on the lookout, they're on social media, they've got their eyes open, right? And if you're on their friends list, like, and they know you DJ, they're going to be keeping an eye on you. And a live stream pops up, and you're on the decks, and you're in some guy's kitchen, and you're on the session, and the house just looks a tip, and there's all the washing in the background, and there's ashtrays with dog ends in the live stream, and then your mate whose house you've gone round to, mid mix, and he sparks up a bifter. It doesn't give you a good image as a promoter, and this is what you've got to look at it as. Look at people like Andy Whitby, look at people like Gamma, Darren Styles, Dougal, Hixie. Do you see them going round to their mate's house, doing a live stream, having a bifter in the kitchen? You don't see it. And the truth is, like, it's not a good image to promoters. And again, one of the reasons why I also stopped drinking was because promoters, if you're at an event, you know, maybe you're hoping to play at the next one and you've come down to support the you know, the one that's happening, you know, the current one, and you get absolutely off it and you're falling all over the place and you're making a show of yourself and you're shouting with people and you know, the door staff, they've asked you to leave because, you know, you've had too much, you know, go home, sleep it off, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't give the promoter that, like, yeah, we definitely want to book him. So that was one of the reasons why I stopped drinking as well, because I wanted promoters to kind of not to look at me and not see somebody who's just like necking shots by the second and somebody who's wobbling around and falling all over the place, you know. Plenty of Coca-Cola, plenty of lemonade, plenty of water behind the bar, and plenty of just like Red Bulls, energy drinks that you can get behind the bar without needing to go somewhere and buy you know, and get absolutely hammered. You know, plenty of cold drinks, and even sometimes I get a drink from a shop and just leave it in the car. You know, if I'm in Lehman's car, then I'll just go outside every now and again, go to his car and have a mouthful of like a bottle of Lucasade or something. You know, especially if like the venue's really dear for drinks and I'm not gigging there. If I'm gigging there, then you know I like, you know, I get a drink there obviously, but it all just varies. So anyway, we digressed a bit. Radio show tomorrow. So let's do it. Make sure to like, make sure